This is the Plain English Real Estate Show with your host, Rowena Patton, a show that focuses on the real estate market in terms you can easily understand. Call Rowena now. The number is 240-9962 or 1-800-570-9962. Now here's the English girl in the mountains, the agent that I would trust, Rowena Patton.
Good morning. This is Rowena Patton on the Real Estate News Radio Show. We have Cody Jones in today, our trusted insurance advisor is going to be telling us about commercial insurance and term insurance and whole life. And if you're in bed right now, you're all snoozing off a little bit. Just kidding, Cody. It is insurance after all. Oh, my gosh. I want to give you some figures to kick it off that you might be a little bit interested in. So we've been covering all kinds of numbers on the show over the last few weeks. And we all know, I think we all know at this point, the market's crested, even though for the last 6 months everybody's been saying it hasn't. We're not going into a recession. I think we're pretty much universally agreed now that we're going into a recessionary period. It is a 7 to 11 year cycle. You're all sick of hearing me say this. Good old Clement Juglar set it up in 1860. I don't think anything's changing a whole lot. Which means that we will now be sliding for statistically, between 3.5 to 5.5 years. What do you think about all this, Cody? Do you think we're going into a recession, or do you think, everything's just great and prices are going to go down and gas prices are going to go down and we're going to have low inflation and houses are going to double in price? And
I've definitely gotten to see that firsthand because I bought my house April of last year, and inflation definitely hit us a ton because we sold, and having that equity was great, but then we had to spend it because wood was so expensive.
Did you build a house or were you remodeling or something?
Just remodeling,
Gotcha.
But we gutted a ton. So we remodeled 3 bathrooms, added a room in the garage, did a bunch of stuff. So
what room are you adding in the garage? That's interesting.
So what we did was there was a room in the middle of the living room, kind of as a half bath washer dryer room, and I tore it all out so you'd have an open concept. My wife loved that.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Tore it all out and then built a 14 by 10 room in the garage. So we still have a 2-bay garage, but it's kind of in half a little bit.
Oh.
So now we've gained some square footage.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Cool. That sounds very interesting. I am also getting a house right now. It actually is very fun. Everybody thinks I'm insane, but I actually like it. Well, I'm not living in it. That's the thing. I have lived in a house when I've been gutting it before. Did you have somewhere to live throughout that process?
I did, yeah. We lived with my wife's parents during that time, so we were able to expose a ton of the house to be able to
That's great.
get down to the nitty-gritty of it. But then at the same time, we went over there and actually uncovered some things that were not so pleasant.
What'd you find?
Some termites, and then some carpenter ants were upstairs in the bathroom. So if I wouldn't have ripped out those couple of walls, they never found it. So
right, and that's very common as well. In my 1964 house, moved some walls around and walled in the screened-in porch. And when we cut into one of those walls, there was a wasp nest inside, like the full nest. Now, I'm sure they died a gazillion years ago. Definitely some termites as well.
Right.
As most often the termites come in and nibble away, and then they die, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's a cold winter or something. Who knows?
Right. Well, we actually had our inspector come out, do everything on the house whenever we first did it. Well, getting down to some of the things he couldn't see behind the drywall, we found some stuff that was not so pleasant, like I said. And then in the crawl space, we had a spot where there was a water leak previously, and it had dry rotted some of the trusses down there.
Yeah.
So those are things we had to Band-Aid on, or it was going to continue to get bad.
So common as well. It's so common to find that. And you've got to wonder, how old was the house, Cody?
It is a 1989 build.
Okay, so back in you sort of cusped it there in terms of the better quality wood. But did you take any of those pieces of wood out and try and nail into it or screw into it or anything else?
So the couple of pieces that I found from underneath the house that were not so great. I
Yeah.
tried a couple of things whenever we went outside, and it was like cardboard.
Yeah.
And not the greatest thing. So that's not what you want to hear.
Yeah, the stuff that's rotted out,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
But in these old houses that are certainly the 70s and down, really it was about the mid-60s when this changed. You can't nail a screw into the wood because it's so solid.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's just way, way better quality. You know what I'm talking about. Randy's nodding his head.
Oh, yeah. You can't penetrate. I mean,
Yeah, because it's
hard as
solid.
a rock.
So you got to wonder. You know, it'd be interesting actually to have some pest expert on. You know, did the pests find it harder to nibble into that old wood? You know,
Right,
and did it
right.
keep our houses stronger? You got to think that it did.
100%. Absolutely. And then,
Instead of the soft stuff we use these days. You know?
yeah, I told somebody
New
a while
growth.
back I wish there would be more brick houses because of building those, and they're beautiful, and you can
Yeah.
whitewash them. You can do so many things
Yeah.
with them, but they're a whole lot. I say a whole lot more expensive. There's more work to be able to put them together
Yeah.
and everything like that.
Well, and it's obviously it's the cost of the brick, but also the labourers. You know, there's only so many people that know how to lay brick now.
Oh yeah, masons are just. You hate to say that they're aging out, but they just don't
Yep.
teach it a whole lot anymore, or that this generation is not really striving to learn those types of things.
Or we
So-
don't build things for longevity. Could be that as well,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, they don't burn as easily as well. I mean, you're in insurance. Of course, I came from a country called England that's full of brick or rock houses. I mean, it was very uncommon to see a wooden house.
Oh yeah.
They're usually brick. Unless you didn't have a whole lot of money, honestly, and you're building your little house out in the country, and you like my dad did, he built his own house. It was wooden. But that was unusual. Most houses are brick.
Yeah, I mean, and insurance is a ton cheaper with a brick house too,
Is that
because
true?
it's not going to be a total loss. Because I mean, you can't burn down a brick. I mean,
I
it's
just bought
not,
a brick
yeah.
house. At least
It's
my
gonna be a ton
basement's
cheaper,
brick.
yeah.
Will that get me a little bit off the
Yeah, so
basement?
you're half. So what's called a brick veneer house?
No,
And so
it's solid brick.
Yeah, so it's half and half, right? Is it?
Yeah, but it's not brick veneer. You know, brick veneer are those little slices of brick that they
That's
slap
right.
on
Yeah,
top.
yeah.
This is full brick,
Okay.
which is also great insulation.
Yeah.
Right, so you've got this full brick and then you've got the block.
Mm-hmm.
And the basement's then stucco. So, you know, you've got all 3 layers of insulation down there without any insulation. Whereas when you've got a wooden house, I mean, wood is a great insulator too. And then you slap your insulation in between, then you've got your sheetrock.
Oh, yeah.
It's very different to brick. Now we need an expert on brick and the R values down there. But I know it feels, there's no drafts down there. It feels warm all the time.
Oh yeah. Well, tons of houses that I've seen that are brick, they have like wood stoves in the basement and are
Yes.
just amazing. My dad has a wood stove, and it's just whenever I go over to his house, I just sit in the recliner and I fall asleep within 10 minutes of being in there. So
You know, we
Phenomenal.
listed a home yesterday. I'm going to give you all the details in a minute. And they put in a wood burning stove. And oh my gosh, I just wanted to sit there all day. I had a t-shirt on and like a heavy t-shirt and a jacket over the top. I had to take my jacket off. It was so toasty. It was lovely. And they were hanging out on the loungers. It was absolutely fantastic. Nothing. And a lot of people who come here want a wood burning stove. We have a lot of New Yorkers here as well. Where are you from originally?
Yeah, I'm from here.
You are, okay.
Yeah.
Native. That's so rare.
Yeah, my dad's got his traditional HVAC system, everything like that, but he enjoys to go out and chop wood and go do those things. He says it keeps him young and
Yes.
everything. So he loves to have a fire because that was what was in his parents' house and so on and so forth. And it's so comfortable.
Isn't that the truth? I want to tell you about this little house. $225,000. Do I need to say any more? When was the last time you found a house that had 3 bedrooms? It was 225, and it's cute.
I haven't even
it's
seen
a
it,
little
and I'm attracted
cottage.
to it.
It's adorable. 1923. It's got a metal roof. Can't beat that either.
Can't be that at all.
It's can't beat that with the stick. It's got some of the original windows at the top. It is really cute. Right across the road from the river, you got some little like ridge views, but you've also got the river views right there. There's a road before your river, but just a little side road. It is adorable. 3786 Broad. Go and look that up. This would make a great little rental. It's got 2 bedrooms on the main level. Cody's looking it up now. I'll send you a link, Cody. You're fine.
okay.
Quick. Cody's going to get it. But you don't get in here fast. 3786 Broad Street. You can go to mountainhomehunt.com, mountainhomehunt.com. Just type 37. There probably isn't another 3786. Maybe that should be our trivia question. How many listings that have the number 3786.
There are a couple.
Are there really?
Yeah, one's in Clyde.
Keyword. That's the one. There are a couple. You're right. That is really funny. Okay, ignore all of that. So you won the trivia. If you said there's more than one, you were correct. mountainhomehunts.com. Go ahead and it's on almost half an acre as well. Did I mention that? Actually, it's 0.52 acres. It's just over half an acre.
I was just about to ask you that. That's a big commodity these days with.
Yes, big fenced-in yard. So it's not fenced all the way. It's got a little fenced-in doggy area. It's got what the lovely lady owner said. When we moved here, I looked outside, and I called it my barn. It's kind of more like a shed, really, but you could definitely make it into a little barn. It was very cute. Yeah, and there's that wood-burning stove in there as well. The great thing is you've got there's 2 rooms upstairs. They're 6'9" high. So if you're tall, these are definitely not for you. We're slightly below that 7 foot that's required to include it in the acreage. However, they're used as 2 bedrooms upstairs, and you could easily put some really big closets up there. You got a laundry. You got a really nice sunroom. This one is cute. 1,433 square feet. Go take a look at that. 3786 Broad Street, $225,000. It's the cutest, least expensive. This is stick built, by the way. I just had somebody ping me and say, is it a manufactured home? No, it isn't. And there are plenty of manufactured homes that you can buy in Buncombe County that are more money than that. Maybe that should be our question. If we look at Buncombe County, I'm going to tell you about manufactured homes and how much they go for here. If you're, if you have one and you're thinking about selling it, this might be interesting for you. If I can get the website to work. So all I've done is I've gone to mountainhomehunt.com. If you want to follow along with me at home, mountainhomehunt.com. I typed Buncombe County. Now I'm going to go top right to the little more button. Let's hope I've got manufactured on here, please. Now I'm looking through here, and maybe we'll do something else, because do I really not have manufactured? That's almost funny. I bet I do somewhere, and I'm just not finding it. So if you want to do that, what we can do for you is look it up for you on the back end, because we definitely have that option where we can pull all those prices for you. How many homes in Buncombe County do you think have a hot tub?
Wow, I bet there's a ton. I know I've got one at my house.
Or at least check the box. There's a hot tub. Some of these will be condos as well.
Maybe half, maybe?
No, it's way fewer than that.
Really?
In all of Buncombe County, these are homes that are listed.
Oh,
right?
homes that are listed.
Yeah,
Okay.
We've got 33
33, okay.
that have a hot tub. If I take hot tub off, we've got 1,363.
Okay. So like a third-ish, or a quarter-ish, or something like that?
No, 33.
Oh, 33. I thought you said 333.
33 to 1,363.
Oh, that's hardly nothing. So
it's hardly nothing,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
That is our percentage, and our statistic today, hardly nothing.
I went a little bit redneck with my hot tub, so I
love it. I love hardly nothing. I think
I got an inflatable one in my house. So,
ooh,
yeah, it was really cheap from Walmart, but it works great. Get the tablets from Amazon.
I love it.
Yeah,
and then you can take it with you.
Yeah,
I thought you meant you went redneck with your hardly nothing, but no, I'm gonna do. What should we do? What would you like to see? Hey, you can give us a call if you want me to look up some figures for you, because you might be surprised. 828-240-9962. Let's look at Buncombe County again. And what we're going to look is price now. So max price, $225. How many homes do you think there are under $225?
100?
I'm making you work hard today, aren't I?
100 maybe, or
that are listed. 20.
20.
20.
What's the median home price in
kind of
Buncombe
shocked,
County
actually.
right now?
Well, it depends where you are. You know, we throw these figures out, and it depends where you are. So when I got into real estate many moons ago, in 2006, the average price point was about $186,000, 186. It's now about 410.
Yeah, that sounds about right for the people that I've had in my office lately. So,
Yeah. It's in the low 400s. But what does that mean? You know, I don't know what that means to anyone, honestly, other than house prices have gone up.
Well, how is that correlating with square footage? Like, is that trending with square footage?
Cody, that is a very good question. People are preferring smaller homes than we used to in the 80s. That trend is just keeps continuing. We prefer smaller homes. And what do you think costs more per square foot, a smaller home or a bigger home?
Probably a smaller home, because you don't have a whole lot of people wanting to do the small jobs. A big job, they can get a whole lot of stuff done with it and get more people on. And
I'm so glad you asked that question about square footage. Here's why it's so interesting, because a lot of people who are selling their home, and this is for you, you know, if you're thinking about selling this year, give me a call, 828-333-4483. Of course, I would love to come out and see you. I can tell you that we've had a listing appointment every day, and now we've got them all stacked up in preparation to come onto the market, and a lot of other local agents are in the same boat. There's a lot of houses getting listed right now, which means more competition for you. So I want you to think about this. When we come out to see you, and you've got a 2,500 square foot home, and you say, you know, oh, I'll give you a real one, an 1,800 square foot home, and you say, you know, I'm going to get X per square foot for this, because the home across the street that is 1,100 square feet got 300 a square foot. Like, first of all, comparables are comparable. They have to be comparable. They have to be the closest to your home that we can possibly find. Now, why are small homes so much more per square foot? And this also is why we see a lot of homes that are not single level built in the mountains. So let's think about it. You've got a piece of land, right? Any home consists of this, unless it's a condo. Even a condo's got land. So you've got a piece of land, and average price of a piece. I mean, again, what's average? Is it downtown? Is it out in the country? Is it 10 acres? Is it half an acre? You got to spend at least $50,000 on your land. If you're buying it downtown, you're probably, or in town somewhere, you're probably spending $100,000.
That's true.
Right? So you've already got an investment of $100,000. I love this stuff. I eat this stuff for breakfast. It's so much fun.
Well, it's also Asheville, so it's going to appreciate.
Well, right.
Because Buncombe County is awesome. So.
Yeah, this is all about why a small home's so much more per square foot. So you've got $100,000 invested. It doesn't matter if your home's already built. At some point, you've got this investment in it, or someone has, and then you're paying for that investment. And then we're going to spend $20,000 on the landscaping. And we're going to spend $5,000 on the driveway. And we're going to spend another, let's say it's downtown, so you've just got hookups. We're going to spend $10,000 on hooking in the utilities. So we're now at 120, 125, 135. I'm sure there's something I haven't thought of there. So you've already got an investment of $135,000. Does that change whether you've got a 1,000 square foot house or a 3,000 square foot house?
I don't think so, but those are very conservative numbers there. From what I've seen, that's good, though. So,
well, you put those numbers up, you get to, let's say you've got 150 or 200 in the land. Let's say you're a little bit further out.
Right.
That nut doesn't change, whether you've got a small house or a big house, right? So, and to build a big house, okay, so let's say I'm thinking about how to explain this. If you've got a single level home, then that single level home, let's say it's going to cost you $250 to build. $250 a square foot to build it. That's probably conservative.
Yeah.
So if you're building a 1,000 square foot home, how much is it going to cost you to build it?
$250,000.
Oh, Cody's good with his math. This is fun. You got two math geeks going. $250,000. Okay. Now you're going to build. How many square feet did I say? 1,000.
Yep.
Now you're going to build Now we're going to go up. We're going to build above, and this is why we don't see single level homes, which drives me insane because I don't know anybody that wants a floor. Like nobody wants to go up or down, or not nobody. There are the rare exceptions, and I applaud you if you love having a bed. Sometimes people love having a bedroom upstairs. They feel safer, or I'm not really sure why. They just want a bedroom upstairs, which is fine. I'm not judging you. I'm not getting all judgy on you. I'm not being all Karen. Oh, I can't say Karen. What do we say now? I'm not being an entitled white woman on you, or whatever it is. That's what we have to say now. I'm an entitled white woman. That's all judgy. I'm not being judgy. If you like a bedroom upstairs or downstairs, that's fantastic, right? It may be what you have. So, and frankly, here we don't have a whole lot of choice because there aren't that many single level homes. So we're building, right? This is just the money to build the house. It doesn't matter that your house is from the 60s. This investment has gone into it at some point, and that's what's carried the value. So 1,000 square foot home, $250 a square foot, which is actually very conservative now to build. And we're not talking about the land or anything else. Now we're going to go up, right? So you don't have the it's less to build it if you go up, right? Let's say it's 225. Let's say it's 200. Right, so we're going to put some stairs in. 200 a square foot. We're adding 1,000 square foot upstairs. How much are we spending to build that? See if Cody can do the math.
200,000.
200,000. So now we've got a 2,000 square foot house that is $450,000. Good luck if you're going to be able to. But remember, you've got your land on top of that as well. Your land, we're going to run around 150, depending on where you get your land, of course. Right, so now we're at 600,000 in total for that. Does that sound right?
And that's close to the median, like we were talking about, and it's a new build, so that's a big, big thing.
Yeah, actually, so to be able to build a 2,000 square foot house for 600,000 would be pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And guys, look at our frame modulars. Our frame modulars appraise the same way. I'm sure they insure the same way as a stick build.
As a stick build.
As a stick build, which is not the same as a manufactured, right? Or an on-frame modular. You know all about this because you're insurance.
Yeah. So my brother has an off-frame module.
Yeah, I love them.
And it's an
Modular.
amazing house.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I went in there. He's redone the floors in it to the clipped-together wood floors, and it's beautiful.
Are they click-lock? Are they?
Yeah.
Has he put luxury vinyl in it, or
no? It's
manufactured, or
it's just to clip together. I guess it's manufactured.
Okay, engineered. So I was using the wrong term there.
Yeah, so
that's when they put layers of wood down. The big thing now is luxury vinyl. When I used it, the last remodel I did,
luxury vinyl. That's what he did.
Okay,
yeah.
So and it looks like wood. So I used it 3 years ago, and there were 6 color options in LifeProof. Here, I'll give you a shout out. Home Depot LifeProof has the most luxury vinyl. If you're thinking about luxury vinyl, you want to look at the mill coverage on the top. If you're 70 and you're only going to have it for 5 years before you, I don't know if you're remodeling it or getting renters in or something, it's the mill wear level. That's why some of it is cheaper. So sometimes you'll see literally 3 mil. So if you buy a good quality one, most of the LifeProof ones are 6 mil. If you go to Lumber Liquidators, they've got 8 mil. And that's the wear level on the top.
Thickness, is it? Is that
it's
what
the
it is
thickness
as well?
of the vinyl, not the actual plank itself, because how much does, I mean, I guess it does matter, but how much does that, I mean, whether it's 6 mil is tiny.
Right.
8 mil is pretty tiny. I forget here we use inches, so.
But three's even worse, though.
Three's are half of that, right? Half of the normal. So that means it could wear out if you drop a hammer on it. It's going to wear out faster, basically. Whereas the 6 or the 8 mil, I mean, they give you a lifetime guarantee.
Yeah. And they also, I put some of it in our house and all throughout the bottom, and it comes with a little pad on the bottom of it, too.
Not all of it. That's the other thing to look for.
You can get one that's got really thin, like you're saying, or you can get a bigger one, which has made the biggest difference walking barefoot on my floor. So we got the barnwood, so it looks
cool.
like
rustic.
it looks rustic.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So.
You can put it in the basement, so you can put it directly over concrete.
Waterproof.
They say it's better to use a vapor barrier anyway, and it probably is. And vapor barriers aren't that expensive, but it all adds up. So make sure you've got your vapor barrier. How do we get onto this? I don't know. Well, you've got your vapor barrier, and you go for one in between. You can save some money, like anything else, by going cheaper. It's also a lot less to lay. So you're going to pay about $1.80 a square foot to lay luxury vinyl, click lock, anything that's a floating floor. $1.80, $2 a square foot. You're going to pay more like $3.50 if you go the hardwood route, or it's glue down or nail down. Well, that's a lot more.
Yeah, more supplies. Oh, yeah.
Think about 1,800 square feet. That's average size rancher.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. We ended up doing, I think it was 750 square feet of what we did. So if you would have, that price difference, that's 3 times almost.
Yes.
So, that's
exactly
a huge
right.
difference.
Exactly right. And also think, like Cody's saying, the padding costs you money. And if it's got a little bit of padding already on there, that's great. But what all the flooring guys have told me is go for the extra padding. Because what people don't like about the floating floors is when you walk on them, it can feel a bit clippy. Mm-hmm. That goes away. Like there was no clippy on my floating floor at all when you put a pad. Some of them have got a pad, so you go, oh, I'm going to save the money, because I don't have to put the extra pad down. The more pad you can get, the better.
Well, it's your house. If it's going to be your main dwelling, then you're wanting to go the extra mile because you're in it all the time.
Yeah.
You're going to appreciate those little things
You really
along
are.
the way. Yeah.
You don't
on a
see
Saturday
it.
morning at 8 a.m. walking down there to get a pot of coffee or something like that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
the other thing about those floors is I feel like I'm doing an ad here for luxury vinyl flooring. I guess I am. I do love it. I've got a whole pack. Here's the other tip too. It's very hard to choose your colour looking at 2 planks, if they've even got those 2 planks, because I don't know how many colour options LifeLock's got. I'd guess 30 to 60, somewhere in that range. Mm-hmm. Remember, 3 years ago there were 6. This is how this market's exploded. People are taking hardwood out or putting luxury vinyl over the top. The really great thing is not only can you do your basement to match if you've got another floor, they're making stair treads now that match.
Okay.
And really importantly, you can run it into your bathrooms. I love not having any thresholds.
Yep.
The floor, and that makes your house look bigger, particularly if it's smaller. Some of you might be thinking about remodeling. Many of you are thinking about remodeling. Like, my house price is going down anyway. I'm going to remodel instead. Think about the flooring is very important, especially in a small space. Stop painting all your walls different colours. Get it all the same colour.
Yep.
That makes it feel bigger. Put your floor throughout. Take the thresholds out. When your eye doesn't see that dividing line, it really, really opens up the space.
Yeah, how we opened up our kitchen. We tore out that room. We made all the floor run the same way, of course. And all of it one color, like you're saying, and it is amazing. It looks like you're looking down a huge hallway or something like that. So
bowling
it's
alley.
really probably 50 feet, I think, or 40 feet or something like that down through there. So, yeah.
Do you know how you choose which way you lay the planks?
Well, I had a good buddy that came out there and helped me with it. Because
that's great.
Me and
You
my dad,
did it. Wow.
Well, we tried to YouTube it for a little bit, and that didn't work. And so I asked a buddy one Saturday to come over and get us started just to give us an idea. And he gave us some pointers that were like, he's got 37 years worth of experience.
Yes.
So it was like, can't buy that. So,
well, you've got the patterns too. So you've usually got a pattern repeat of 6 or 8. The more expensive ones, you can do different size planks, which makes it look very high end. Some of them are hand tooled. I've seen now. Liquid Lubridators has a hand tooled one that's very pretty. Of course, they cost a little bit more, but it looks. You would never know it's not wood. It's amazing.
spending that extra little bit,
Right.
it just pops whenever you go in the room. You can just really recognize it. So,
And a lot of people just lay it the length of the room because then we don't have to move around so much. The traditional way to lay planks is that the line goes perpendicular, if that makes any sense, to where the sun comes in. So if your sun's coming in the front window, you want the sun running down the line, not against the line. That doesn't make any sense at all. How do you explain that? You want it going, the sun's coming at it. If you imagine the sunlight streaming in, you want the line of the plank to flow with it. Does that make more sense?
I understand. I like that. I'd never heard that.
It's because the lines don't show up as much because of where the sun comes in.
Gotcha. Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Whereas most people just go, here's the length, we'll lay it this way because it's easier. Okay, let's go back to our house where we went up, right? So now we've got, this is a good example of it, actually. So that we're going to do the same $200,000 house, or we did 1,000 square feet, and it was $250 a square foot, which is inexpensive, frankly. It's probably a little bit too little, but whatever. We're getting close to it. We're building that same house downstairs, and it's going to be just the 250,000, and we're going to do 1,000 square feet. So now we're going to add back in our land cost. I'm looking for what we added on the other one, 150. So now It's all about the land costs, guys. That's where we're going with this. So can I do the math? It's really easy math, actually. So now we're at 400. So we've got 1,000 square foot house, same house, except one's got an upper floor on it, for 400,000. We've got my writing's all shabby today. I don't know what happened last night. We won't go into that. There may have been some karaoke at Midway Tavern involved. The girls kept pulling me onto the floor to sing with them. It was nothing to do with me whatsoever.
Always.
Yeah, ever. Now we've got a 2,000 square foot house that, what do we work that out to be? My math's all just jacked up. I'm going to give up in a minute. 400,000. Our other one is 450. That can't be right. Where's my math wrong? Let's start again.
No, it was 450, but then you had to add in the 150 for the land.
Yeah,
so
600,000.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. See, this is why Cody is here today, to check my math. So now, this is the same house, guys. We just got a floor upstairs, right? So this is, Bobby and Samantha go, yeah, but the one next door sold for. So here's the problem if you're in the bigger house, because the 1,000 square foot house, you're talking about 400 a square foot, right? So now the house is built, and let's just say you turn around and sell it because you're crazy and you're like, oh, I don't like it here. Or, I don't know, something happens in Asheville and the politics change. You're like, I'm leaving this town. So now you've got 400 a square foot, and Bobby and Sam live in the big house next door, and they're like, 400 a square foot? I've got a 2,000 square foot house, so my house is worth 800,000, right? Based on that? No, and it's all about the land. Mm-hmm. It's all about the land, no trouble. Now you have to find that one, Randy. You don't. All about the bass.
No trouble.
Yeah,
no trouble.
It's all about the bass. It's called.
Oh.
Might be too modern for you. Oh, did I say that out
love
loud?
That song.
Gosh, I'm mean today. Okay, so 2,000 square feet, right? And it cost us 600,000. So now we're going to go 600,000 divided by 2,000. Please work. One too many. Isn't it fun watching me do math on my phone? Ooh, 300,000 a square foot. Why? Two reasons. One is, regardless of the size of the house, I've got 150 in the land, right? Because you break out the land. It doesn't matter how big the house is.
Yep.
And then, not only that, it cost you a little bit less because you went up. It would work the same way, even if you did 2,000 square feet and you didn't do the less price to build per square foot, because we were at 250 for the lower floor, 200 for the upper floor. Even if you did 250, it would be, it'd probably be 350 actually per square foot or something like that. So if you're in the big house and you're going, oh yeah, but that little house gets 400 per square foot. No, it's more expensive because it's more expensive to build when it's smaller.
100%. Yeah.
Because you've got all that investment in the land, and especially if you're out in the country, you've got the septic and the well, and maybe you're on city water and you've got the septic. The septic's going to so people go, oh, septics are only 12 grand because I replaced mine 15 years ago. First off, the prices have really gone up, but you've got to clear everything. So you're probably 15 to 20 grand to put that septic in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right, and then you've got the well.
Yeah.
How much does a well cost? That's a really funny question. Depends how deep you got to drill.
Right. Lay the land, yeah.
What goes on with insurance, Cody, in places where people have got wells?
So some different things can go on. Obviously, we always share the horror story of water coming back into the house, either from the toilets or any of the faucets or anything like that.
This just happened. I have somebody called me the other day, and I'm so glad you mentioned this. The sewer line. It's like you're reading my mind. Ooh, Cody's reading my mind. So the main line, somehow the sewer line got clogged. The regular sewer line, not a septic. And I guess, when they bought it, they didn't know about it and, just had that little hole. It's like looking at that plaque diagram for stroke victims that you see on the advertisements, and the Plaxis or whatever it is, the drug that you take to get. So I guess it just builds up, all that yuckiness builds up over time. It's like your sewer line plaque. All the poop goes hard, slowly but surely. And then eventually it backed up into the house. Now, flood insurance doesn't cover that, does it?
Mm-mm.
Tell us about that, Cody.
So there is a endorsement that you can put on your homeowner's policy. It's called limited water backup and sump pump overflow. It's most of the time used with a sump pump.
It.
And it costs
Nothing.
I think it's $38 per year.
Yeah.
And if something was to happen, so in this particular case, the water backflowed from the sewer into the in from the toilet, and it overflowed, obviously, in the bathroom.
If only you could see my face right now.
Yeah. And then it was an upstairs bathroom. Went down the drywall into the kitchen. It was coming through their electrical outlets in the walls. I mean, it was intense.
Wow.
So our adjuster came out there and was like watching and looking and everything, and they had to actually move out of the house and go into a hotel because it was just.
So there's brown water coming out of your outlets.
Unlivable.
Yeah. I mean, you think about how much that was going to end up being. Probably north of $50,000 worth of damage for a very small, I don't want to say fix, but it's an inspection that you need to do on your house every, 10 or 15 years or so on your septic system, or maybe even less than that, just to make sure that
the camera thing.
Yeah, just run something down through there, make sure things are
Septics particularly. However, this happens with the case I'm giving you. That wasn't a septic. That was on a sewer line.
Sewer lines too, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you think about how many people are running through a sewer line. I mean, that's a city thing. So that's a ton of stuff. So,
but from the street to your house is you. That's your responsibility from street to the house.
Yes.
Yeah. It is, and probably 90. I mean, the pipe that's underneath the ground, that is not covered underneath your homeowner's insurance. So that's why even more to inspect those things, you want to make sure of that.
Can you get it covered?
You can, but it's like an extension covers that sometimes other companies use, but. If you inspect it and make sure that things are not clogged up and you do your due diligence on your side, then...
I can give you the horror story on that one.
Then you can do that.
When I lived in D.C., I was a bit younger then. When I first moved over here, I moved to D.C. and I wasn't even blonde then. So I was in the kitchen and it was an old house, and it was a house that I bought for $220,000 in Washington, D.C., right by the zoo, that's now running $1.5 million.
Wow.
Not that, This is 1996.
Wow.
Yeah, we should have kept that one. We all say that. So I remodeled the kitchen. I can't help it. I'm a remodeler anywhere I go. I remodeled the kitchen. I put this amazing disposal in. Just 6 horsepower, some crazy amount of horsepower. I bought the most expensive, crazy one, and I thought, I bet this will do a corn cob. Guess what?
Wow.
It did.
Oh, it did.
It was amazing. The problem was that it went downstairs, stop laughing, into my cast iron pipes. So downstairs, I don't know if it'd always been an apartment, I've no idea, or somebody had converted it over the years. It's a 1920s row house. Yes, 1.5 million for a row house. So it went down under the concrete, and unfortunately then went outside into probably terracotta, which is what they used to use, down a slope. And the problem with terracotta or cast iron pipes, which are really great, is that over time they give way a little bit, and these things called trees have big roots that tend to go towards moisture, and they go, oh, nice, especially terracotta because they're damp. Oh, a nice pipe to get my roots into. And over time the roots go in, and it's like the plaque that builds up again inside the pipe, and those little roots caught my corn cobs. And if you can imagine, on a relatively main road in Washington, D.C., the one that goes right by the zoo, the whole thing had to be torn up.
Oh,
my renter downstairs had to move out.
Oh, no.
All the concrete had to come up.
Oh,
because
no.
some idiot put corn cobs down the waste disposal.
How many of them things you put in there?
Oh,
all
no.
of them.
Oh, no.
Maybe 3.
Did they end up finding some of them and coming knocking on doors or anything like that?
DNA.
Yes. Oh, it was only my pipe. It went down. It went sort of up a hill, and the little slope. The pipe was coming down that, so they had to dig all that up, all the trees up. The worst thing was my poor renter downstairs. Had to move out. We had to dig all the concrete. Digging up concrete's not fun.
I've got in my mind, I've got a vision of one of those construction workers grabbing one of the corn cobs and then walking like up to your door and be like, ma'am, what is this?
Here it is.
Here was the problem.
Well, the worst thing is when you have a septic and the things that people put down toilets are shocking.
My.
Yes. It's not all the regular stuff that you think about. Barbie dolls.
Barbie dolls.
Yes, Barbie dolls.
You know, a kid will throw them little toys in there. They love that swirl, and they're standing there, they're watching that, and you better look out. They're going to throw Tonka truck down there.
I mean,
They'll do it. I've seen it happen.
Don't throw Tonka trucks down the toilet.
that's right.
I thought it's because they were ticked off with Dad and they're going to show him and throw the Tonka truck. You know, like we did when we were kids. We throw little tantrums and flush the Barbie down the... I didn't have Barbie, I had Cindy, but that's a whole other story.
Cindy.
That's what happens to me. That's why I turned into a young person that was flushing corn cobs down the... So
Down the 6 horse.
I don't remember if... I think we were covered on that, Cody.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Okay.
Can you imagine how much that cost?
Oh, there's no telling.
It must have been $20,000 or $30,000
Easily.
Yeah. And then there was the loss of the income on the rental.
Yeah. And that's in 1996, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would have been double now or triple, maybe.
Yeah.
or something like
It was
that.
tens of thousands of dollars. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to talk about. So we have some horror stories in home insurance here, at least. Another very common one that's happened to me, and this was probably a $30,000 insurance claim. My only one in this state, at least. I sound like one of those terrible people now that go around and do all these terrible things. It's the little pipe on the back of the refrigerator. You know about that one, don't
Oh,
you?
absolutely.
How often do you see that being
I'm
the
a
problem?
victim.
Well, we do, and I've experienced it a little bit with my own now. In my house, that we just put a new refrigerator in. I installed it all myself.
I
Everything
bet
was
you
great,
did.
Even more to talk about the wood floors. I mean, it was waterproof, so then it was coming out the front. So at least I recognized it. So if you have older floors or anything like that, and it would have just either flowed off the back and down the drywall into your basement, you may not have found it for
awful.
months. But yeah, that's very, very common. I would say 1 in 5 is one of those, and that's huge.
So you can get this little... It's so funny because I don't have one right now in any of my houses. You can get this little alarm thing that's very inexpensive that you plug in. You just plop it on the floor behind the fridge. So we're talking about the little water pipe. They don't make them of plastic anymore. You can see them rarely of plastic.
Yeah.
Replace it. You can get a much better replacement pipe that, I don't know if they're metal or mesh or something, I don't know.
They get a little bit of both, yeah.
Yeah. And how you connect it is very important. Now you'll think, listen, Cody just said it's 1 in 5 of the cases. So it sounds like, you got a little puddle, it's not going to be that big a deal. So mine, it's insidious. It just drips a little tiny bit. Mine went under my hardwood floors. The hardwood floors, it's a kitchen, it's a fridge, right? Under the hardwood floors, under all the cabinets, rolled down. It was a big open plan living room. Rolled down into a slightly sunken living room, down into the sunken living room. They had to rip an entire floor, it's probably 1,000 square feet of hardwood up. They had to take all the cabinets out. And the only reason I spotted it is it probably been going on for 3 years. Was a damp patch on the foot. Like it looked a bit dark. The hardwood just looked a little bit dark, and I thought, darn dog's peeing there again. That's exactly what I thought. She was getting a bit older, and I thought, she's peeing by the door, That's what I thought it was. Didn't feel damp or anything. I didn't really want to touch it because I thought it was pee.
Right.
I mean, I mopped it up. I didn't just leave it there or anything. But it was a little bit darker in that spot. And eventually I thought, I gotta check this out. What's going on? I saw a little drop of water. Saying, of course, by that point, the whole thing's got to go. And you might have floor joists as well that have rotted out because of that water sitting there for so long. So watch that one. You can get around it. Check the pipes. It's another honey-do list. Nothing will happen.
Yeah, and the washing machine hoses are the same culprit. And I've read recommendations that those hoses should be replaced every 5 to 10 years, whether, but who does that,
No, well, it's like, okay, so who in the room's cleaned out their dryer vent?
Yeah, that's a big one.
The funny thing is you've got the little vent outside that won't even shut anymore because you've got all your bits of fluff sticking around it, right? And then you know what happens? Little mouses go in because they go, it's nice and warm in here.
and soft.
Not only is it warm, it's all soft and I can make a little nest. And then they wiggle up the pipe and they come in your house and make a nice little nest. I happen to like mousies so they don't scare me, but most of you out there are scared of mousies. You don't want them in your house. Yeah. No. Cody, you're scared of mice?
Oh, I don't want nothing to do with them. No.
They're so cute.
Yeah, well.
They don't
Not
make good
fair.
pets, though, so if you're thinking about a pet for your kids, get a rat.
Get
Oh, they're amazing. So mice just like run around like idiots, right? And they're squirrely. You know, they run around a lot, I guess, like a squirrel. Gerbils say, yeah, just stupid. You pick them up by the tail and the skin comes off. Like it's just it's just the skin off the bone. That's the thing, just the skin, and it's an escape mechanism, right? Yeah. And they're stupid and they bite you and you put them in whatever. Rats, amazing pets. There's a reason why people carry them around. Mine used to sit on my shoulder on my way to my grandma's on the bus.
Oh my goodness.
They'll sit on your lap. They'll watch TV with you. They make amazing pets for kids.
I'm done with pets. Under the tower of one of the radio stations I worked at when my daughter was little and had all those gerbils and rats and hamsters.
You don't even know what she had, do you?
There's a burial ground under that tower. Yeah. I mean,
Randy.
It's the Houston Pet Cemetery. I don't want to do that anymore.
Oh, but they did die. You weren't just burying them.
No, yeah.
I thought you meant
you
got tired of them getting out and like you bury them alive or something. I bet she had hamsters.
Oh, gerbils, fish, birds. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore.
That's because you didn't have a rat. I'm telling you. I mean, forget cats and dogs and all that stuff. They're friendly. They're really friendly.
I just don't know if I could do it.
They just sit on your lap and you pet them. They barely wriggle around at all. And they're not they're very intelligent.
Yeah.
They really, I'm just telling you, they make great pets for kids. Like if you kids want any of those rodent things, get a...
The fish are the easiest to gone.
What, flush them down the toilet, you mean?
That's the easiest.
So that's what happens to your septic. One day you're just hanging out in your house and this fish comes flying up because it backs up.
Got stuck.
And it's next door's goldfish.
And dig up concrete and all of that, yeah.
Good Lord. But fish are, I think it's kind of disgusting. The tank gets smelly and the kids go, "Oh, I'll clean it out, Dad." Yeah, right.
And spots swimming upside down.
Yeah, and they go, and they get that white fungus on them.
Ick.
And when you're a kid, you try and scrape it off because you don't want them to have fungus, you know. And your dad says, "Well, I'm flushing them down the toilet soon." It's just, and the water stinks. You got to clean all the tank.
I don't want no more of it.
So, just saying, a little rat. They're nice. Everybody thinks I'm nuts now. Whatever. Nothing new there, I guess. I also want to go. Let's go back to a happier topic. How much is your home dropping in price every month?
Oh.
I've been giving you so many figures, right, these last few weeks. So if you're... It's not funny at all. It's really not funny. How do we derive... Everybody goes, "Oh, you can't time the market." Yes, you can. That's nonsense. It's 7 to 11 years. We've already crested. We're going down for 3.5 to 5.5 years. So all the people who are selling now are going, "Oh, no, that's terrible. My house price is going down." Well, you should feel a little concerned if you're, 60 and up. If you're in the boomer division. Why? Because, well, especially if you're in your 70s and you want to sell it because you want to go into assisted care or something like that. Mm-hmm. So if you're in those older age brackets, oh my gosh, give me a call now. We need to get you out. Mm-hmm. Here's why. It's going down for 3.5 to 5.5 years, and it will go back up again just like it always does. I'm 99.9% sure this has been going on since 1860. You can time the market. It's 3.5. Elon Musk just said, 2.5, 3 years, things will turn around. Couple of years. Mm-hmm. That's because we hit the bottom in 3.5 to 5.5 years statistically. Mm-hmm. Might it be 2? Yeah, if it's a short cycle, could be. But it's going to be years. So if you're in that older age bracket, then you don't stop procrastinating. You don't want to wait a year because it'd be worth less. Not worthless, worth less. 2 words.
Less. That's right.
Yeah, 2 words. That's the good news. It's not worthless. Unless we're invaded by China or something, but that's a whole other story. Okay, so let's say your house is $300,000. Let's say we go down 30%. So obviously, I should have done 10% because then you could have just doubled it and tripled it because you can all do that math at home. Now, you've all had your cup of coffee by now. So let's do a $300,000 house. We're going down, and I'm rounding off these figures. If we're going to go down to 30%, and this is based on a 3.5-year bottom, right, in the trough, we're going down about $2,130 a month. So just over $2,000 a month. So every month that you wait. Now, does it go down equally every month? No. I want you all to look at your last house or the house that you're in. I never tell you to go on Zillow because it's usually a very bad idea. However, this time go on Zillow, put your address in. The vast majority of you will see a drop for the last month. There's a little arrow on there that shows you what it's dropped. I was teaching this on Tuesday to a bunch of agents, or even Thursday, but it doesn't matter. Thursday, it's been a long week, to agents around the country. And they said, you really feel like we've crested? Like, yeah, we're seeing price reductions and things. I said, just go put your house in Zillow. Agents don't use Zillow at all. But just to do it was an illustration. And we're on Zoom, and I said, put your hand up if you see a price drop. Cody's doing it now.
I'm going to do it.
Put your hand up if you see a price drop. Every agent in the room, this is all over the country, put the hand up. 1.7%, 1.5%. It shows you the last 30 days. Have you done yours yet?
It's on its way.
Okay, Cody's is on its way. So, do that, and you'll see how this bears out. What I'm saying is true. I know you'll believe me anyway, but I promise you it's true. Now, it doesn't go down 1.5% a month, right, for 3.5 years. But what other figures are we going to look at? We could do some very complicated calculations and figure it out on average based on history, but that's not very helpful. Let's make it easy. $21.30 a month based on 42 months. That takes us down to 3.5 years at the bottom. That's a short cycle, right? So it's got to go down more if we're going to achieve that 30% loss. Now, let's say it's a 15% drop. Most economists are saying 20 to 30%. They don't know. They didn't even know there's a recession coming, or they're fibbing. I don't know. They don't know. So $21.30 each month. So every month you put it off, your house price is dropping. Well, guess what? So's the house you're buying. Unless you're going into sister care or something like that, where the rentals aren't dropping. They just go up. It's the other way around. $500,000 house. $3,550, so about $3,500 a month you're dropping. So the other houses, right? So is it really that big a deal? A $750,000 house, about $5,300. You're going down a month. That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, ours went down 1.1%.
There you go.
Yeah,
See?
so 4,000.
I'm doing 0.71%. So get this, Cody's went down 1.1%. I just used 0.71%. So imagine if that 1.1% continues. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's way more than the figures I've just quoted. So the point is, if you want to stay in your house for the next 7 to 11 years, absolutely flipping stay in your house. Right? But
out.
I want you to think about how, the ages of you and your family does stick it out exactly. Does it work for you? If not, we need to get you on the market now as quickly as possible. I can keep you in the house for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. You can have money in your pocket. It's called seller possession after closing. We do it all the time. I want to say thank you to Cody today for being my wonderful guest. Cody Jones. You can get hold of him at, I can't read this number. It's over all the 665-1600. 665-1600. Call Cody for your insurance needs. He is Farm Bureau Insurance. Anything else you want to say about insurance before you go?
Call me anytime.
You do it all. You do commercial, you do automotive, you do home, you do whole life, which you can use whole life to grow as a little package to put your money towards something else.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's tax-free. That's a big thing.
Pay off your ex-wife. You can do all kinds of things with it. Cody's going to tell you all about that, how you can get in with your taxes. Cody Jones, 665-1600. And yes, of course, that's 828. Thank you, Cody. You've been a lovely guest today. Thanks for listening, guys. MountainHomeHunt.com, MountainHomeHunt.com. Click on selling my valuation. You can get your valuation right there. I'll see you on the radio next week.
This has been the Plain English Real Estate Show with Rowena Patton. Visit Rowena and post your questions at radioasheville.com or call her at 828-210-1648.